This episode is brought to you by censorship, limiting the free exchange of ideas one burnt book at a time. Censorship, get rid of those pesky new ideas once and for all. Censorship is effective at cleaning up history, news, facts, information, and washes things effectively, especially brains. Censorship, now available everywhere. I hope this message finds you well and taking it easy. Well, recently, boy oh boy, did I get in some hot water. Apparently, Instagram is not interested in having you post quotes by historical figures. I had a post removed 3 different times for, quote, inciting violence. Now, the thing that I posted was a quote by a very infamous world leader that we've all heard the name of, and he is repulsed by almost everyone. Now, I'm going to read you the quote that got me on Instagram's shit list. Here we go. Make the lie big. Make it simple. Keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it. Let me say that again. Make the lie big. Make it simple. Keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it. That's a quote by Adolf Hitler. A lot of people attribute a quote very similar to this to Joseph Goebbels, who was the lead propagandist for the Nazi Party in Nazi Germany in the 30s and 40s. Goebbels did say something just like this, but Hitler also wrote this in his book Mein Kampf, or English translation, My Struggle. Now, I don't understand how that phrase in any way, shape, or form is inciting violence. This is a quote from one of the most infamous manipulators that ever walked the planet. This is a quote where he's talking about how easy it is to control the thought of people, to commit acts of mind control, to brainwash people through the use of repeated propaganda. The quote again, make the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it. That sounds an awful lot like what we're dealing with right now in today's world, doesn't it? We all keep getting force-fed these simple phrases, and even though it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, we keep repeating the phrases, and eventually it's getting soaked into the minds of millions of people, as if it's the truth. Just because you repeat a lie 1,000,000 times doesn't make it the truth. Call me crazy, but I don't think that's how reality works. Maybe I'm out of my mind. But when I posted this, I was referencing the lies that we're being subjected to right now about lockdowns, about COVID-19, about vaccines. It's nonsense. There's a lot of logic missing from the mainstream narrative about what is going on and what the best solutions are for this problem. Propaganda is extremely dangerous. Censorship is extremely dangerous. And on the last episode of the podcast, someone asked me if I've ever been censored on Instagram or the like. And in the last podcast, I had to say, no, actually, that's never happened to me. Well, lo and behold, the day that podcast came out, I posted something on Instagram and it got censored. I re-uploaded it 2 separate times. So I posted it a total of 3 times. Every single time it got taken down. Now, I don't know if this is AI technology that detected a swastika in the image, or if this was individuals reporting it. I'm leaning towards it was probably people reporting it because they were offended by it. So on the 3rd upload of it, I took the markup function on my iPhone and I blacked out or scribbled over the swastika on Hitler's arm. and I scribbled out his last name. It just says Adolf H. We all know who it is. And with that, it stayed up for a while, a few hours, and then it got flagged and taken down again. Now, what is censorship? Censorship is when you try to cut off people's access to information itself. Political correctness and politically correct language is designed to limit free speech. The ultimate end game of political correctness is to end freedom of speech. What happens when you end free speech? You end people's ability to communicate with each other, and you end people's ability to have access to information. Terence McKenna famously said, "The world is made of language." I believe that to be largely true. The world is made of language. So when you start dictating what language people are allowed to use and not allowed to use, you start altering the fabric of reality. You start collapsing the world. In the last episode, I talked about how censorship is very dangerous. And it's dangerous because by cutting off people's access to information and cutting off people's ability to communicate freely and openly with one another, there is no room for debate. There is no room for discourse. There is no room to let ideas duke it out and let the best ideas win. When you start censoring what people are allowed to say, all you get is the same fucking narrative all the time. You're not going to have room for debate. Oh, hey, he's saying something that we're not allowed to say, so we can't listen to him. Shut him up. If you don't see how that could possibly be dangerous and detrimental to a free society, you're beyond help. I can't help you here. Hey everybody, thanks a lot for checking this out. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. If you want to support the podcast, you can always go to riffsordie.com and pick up some merch. You can also go to patreon.com/riffsordie and subscribe to become a patron. Feel free to shoot me an email at podcast@riffsordie.com. All questions and comments are welcome. Thanks a lot for your support. Take care, everybody.